Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on B106 and B106.com this afternoon from Fort Lupton High School. The visiting Fort Morgan Mustangs take on the Fort Lupton Blue Devils as the Mustangs can officially wrap up the Colorado 7 league title. They're 11-0 in league play, 13-3 overall. Fort Lupton 0-11 in league play, 1-15 on the season. Here's Kyle Daniels. The opening pitch is a changeup on the outside corner for a strike, delivered by Manny Ledesma. We'll set the starting lineup here momentarily for the Mustangs. And the 0-1 offering. Curveball swung on line into right field. That's a base hit. Should be a big game for Fort Morgan today, considering their record and Fort Lupton's, and also knowing that this is a very young Fort Lupton team.
Up next, number 3.
Mustang starting lineup brought to you by Cargill Beef, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. Daniels going into the game, hitting .491. Now he gets a base hit. Here is Trevor Shirtliff from the right side of the pitch. And that changeup is a strike on the outer half. It's 0-1. Austin Cosman will bat third. He's the third baseman. Joey Schneider, the cleanup hitter. He's the catcher. Carlito Urquieta will bat fifth. Of course, Kenny Keller, the left fielder, bats sixth. Throw back to first, and back in diving is Daniels. Batting seventh will be the right fielder, the freshman Trey McBride. Nate Cage, the first baseman, hits eighth. And Adrian Marquez, the DH, bats ninth. The stretch and the 0-1. The runner goes, swung on and driven in the air into right center field. A long run for John Howard. He's going to make the catch in the gap. Back to first is Daniels, and there's one down. And here's Austin Cosman, Shirtliff, a .351 hitter. As for Cosman, having a banner season, .491, with a team leading 15 RBIs and a team leading 28 hits. As the senior third baseman steps inside the batter's box, Andrew Segovia, Lorenzo Antuna, that's first and second. Andrew Adame at third, Christian Angel at short. Around the outfield will set him up in a second to pitch. And there is a strike, another changeup. It's 0-1. John Cook in left, John Howard in center, Hector Chavita in right, Riley Reed behind the plate, and Manny Ledesma is the right-hander. The stretch. Throw back to first, back in diving is Daniels. In league play, this Fort Lupton team has been outscored 178-29. Mustangs with a 118-36 edge in league play. A big mismatch. Swung on and grounded up the middle. That's going to be a base hit into center field. Daniels to second. Howard plays it off his chest in center, but Daniels cannot advance another bag. And Austin Cosman picks up his 29th hit of the 2015 season.
Next, number 7.
And there is Joey Schneider, hitting .321. He's driven in 13. That's second on the team. He's got a runner in scoring position. And the Mustangs looking to break out on top here at the top of the first inning in Fort Lupton. Yeah, we've had adventures here the last couple of years. A 3-hour game 2 years ago. And then last year, a game that was filled with rain and cold weather. And the changeup, a strike on the outside corner. And right now, Ledesma's thrown nothing but strikes, 7 of them. No balls and 1 strike. You can follow us on Twitter at B106 or our B106 Facebook page or pitch by pitch at KSIRsports.com. Click on the link for today's game. Daniels back to second, a step off by Ledesma. Mustangs play 3 games in 3 days. We will not have tomorrow's game. That's a game that's been rescheduled already twice against Vista Peak. Our next game will be on Friday, and the breaking ball is lined into left center field for a base hit. Daniels to third. He's being sent home, and the throw is going to come towards home, but he cut off over there. To second on the throw is Schneider. Will give him a single and an RBI, and the Mustangs lead 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. That's 3 hits off of Ledesma. And the Mustangs now with 2 runners in scoring position for Carlito Urquieta. Hitting .365. He's driven in 9. And nobody's going to get sick today, hopefully, but it'll be a severe case of the runs for Fort Morgan. I know that's a lame joke, but I had to get that in there considering the disparity in records with these two particular teams. The stretch by Ledesma. And the offering. Urquieta takes it for a strike. Another changeup on the outside corner. Count is sitting at no balls and 1 strike. Urquieta waits, a long pause. And the pitch. Swung on and tapped slowly down the third baseline. Going to be a tough play. And the throw to first is going to be late. That'll be an infield hit, as the ball was fielded cleanly by Adame, but nothing he could do on that slow tapper. And the Mustangs have 4 hits to begin the game.
Number 5.
And by the way, Luna sitting at third. There for Joey Schneider. And here is Kenny Keller. Keller having a nice season in his junior year. The pitch. And he takes it outside. That's the first ball. Keller hitting .373. He's driven in 11. Delivered here by Manny Ledesma. But the Mustangs already in the lead 2-0. Let's give Carlito an RBI. The stretch. And the 1-0. And that fastball's upstairs. Runner goes to second. Straight up steal there for Carlito. No throw. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, the averages will go up today big time. No question about it. And the offering is a fastball in the outside corner. That's a strike. Count is sitting at 2 balls and 1 strike on Kenny Keller. The left fielder, the stretch, and the offering. And he swings and lifts it foul and out of play off to the right. One with a changeup, and Kenny was completely off balance. I'll give him credit. He ran that out, even though the ball was clearly foul off his bat. But Coach Langford doesn't want to get his players into bad habits by not running out even foul balls, even if it was foul by about 60 feet. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 in, 1 down. We're in the top of the first inning. And the Mustangs hold a 2-0 lead over the Blue Devils. Loon off of third, Urquieta at second. And the offering. And that fastball's up and in. Count runs to 3-2. Approaching the top of the hour, this is Morgan County's B106 KPRB Brush Fort Morgan. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ledesma delivers. Swung on and grounded to short. Coming in to make the play. Throwing to first low, but dug out beautifully by Segovia. Is Christian Angel. Run scores as Luna crosses home plate. Give Keller the RBI. That's his 12th of the year. And the Mustangs now lead 3-0. Urquieta to third. Trey McBride, the freshman, is hitting .400. Didn't even start to begin the year, then got into the 9-hole. And slowly he's put on a clinic. The pitch. And he takes a changeup for a strike on the outer half at the knees. Count is at 0-1. Urquieta will be the pitcher today for Fort Morgan. And the offering. Swag and a miss way out in front of the changeup. He's got to keep those hands back. He was nowhere close to that pitch. And the count sits at no balls and 2 strikes to the freshman right fielder, Trey McBride. With Carlito at third, the stretch and the offering, and the curveball's up and in. 1-2, better quality, better service, better results. It's Better Electric. Also the home of Sterling Trailers, your Big Tex headquarters. That's Better Electric. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the offering. Upstairs and inside, another changeup. You'll want to tune in for our final game on Friday. We'll have a nice shout out, a nice tribute towards the very end of the broadcast against the Fort Lupton Blue Devils in Fort Morgan. 2-2, the pitch. And that is just outside. Man, he barely missed that one. Count is sitting at 3-2. McBride awaits with an open stance from the right side. The pitch swung on and tapped down the third baseline, and it's off the hitter's foot. So it's foul. Off McBride's left foot. Yeah, Fort Lupton's just looking to play some clean baseball. They haven't done that throughout the course of the year, but again, they are very young. They graduated some pretty good talent, about 6 starters from last year's team. The stretch and the 3-2. And that's outside, and McBride walks in a fastball. That'll bring up sophomore first baseman Nate Cage, who's hitting .325. No doubt McBride will be taking off. They had a nice catcher last year, Colton McCutcheon. Now Riley Reed, the catcher, who had a great arm. Ledesma at the belt, the pitch, the runner stays though, and it's a strike on the outside corner, belt high, it's 0-1. One with a heater that time. Regular season finales on Friday after tomorrow's game. Again, no Mustang baseball tomorrow here on the B, even though they'll play in Aurora. Swung on, that ball is lifted extremely high in the infield, and that one is going to be fielded by the catcher. No, it's dropped just inside the first baseline by the catcher Reed, and now to third, and making it in there safely is McBride. It was hit extremely high. I had trouble spotting the ball. And scoring in the play was Urquieta. The Mustangs on the air lead 4-0. Tried to basket catch that one. And the ball dropped. So here's Adrian Marquez. And again, looking to play clean baseball. Didn't happen there. Hitting .320. And the pitch. Outside. Again, took something off at 1 ball and no strikes. So that is an unearned run. Allowed by Ledesma. On the air by the catcher. 1-0. Outside again. One with some heat. 2 balls and no strikes. And Fort Morgan would like to make this an abbreviated game, which means essentially 5 innings on the road. 2 balls and no strikes. The Mustangs with an early 4 spot, and that's upstairs and inside. Looks like Kyle Daniels will get a second shot in this inning. 3-0, and a delayed steal there as well by Nate Cage. Marquez will be taking on the 3-0 with 2 runners in scoring position. And the pitch. That's right down the middle for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. Fort Morgan all-time in Colorado 7 league play is 35-0, 11-0 this year. 4-0 all-time against Fort Lupton. And the 3-1 from Ledesma. Swung on, tap foul behind the plate. Count moves to 3-2. To Adrian Marquez at third is McBride. Cage at second. Marquez awaits. Swung on, grounded left side for a base hit into left field. McBride will score. Cage around third. He's headed towards the plate. The throw's going to go all the way through up the first base side. It's a 2-run single. Advancing to second on the throw is Marquez. And the Mustangs now lead 6-0 in the top of the first inning.
Next bat, number 4.
And here's Kyle Daniels all over again. Daniels singled and scored earlier in this inning. Pitch from Ledesma. Changeup is upstairs once again. 3 of these runs are unearned because of the 2-out error. 1 ball and no strikes. Ledesma looks back. And the pitch is a ball away. Count moves to 2-0. This is the 10th hitter of the inning for Fort Morgan, with a 6-0 lead for the Mustangs. And the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on a changeup away. Count moves to 2-1. First Mustang run of the game brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, committed to their community and keeping banking simple. At 3:21 Ensign, Morgan Federal Bank, there's a difference. And that changeup in the dirt skips away. And now headed to third is Marquez. The throw is going to be high. It's going to be a wild pitch. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count to Kyle Daniels. as Marquez is into third safely. Gorgeous day in Fort Lupton. 350 and the right center field gap, and 340 on the left center field gap. 3-1. 330 down the lines. The pitch swung on, pop foul, out of play again, well out in front of the changeup. It is 3-2 to Kyle Daniels. Yeah, I know the game 2 years ago that went 3 hours. I think that was like 20-11, some crazy score like that. Swung on, line towards left field, coming on and letting the ball drop as John Cook couldn't make the play. It's an RBI single for Daniels. Marquez scores, and the Mustangs now lead 7-0 in the top of the first inning. Thought Cook had a play, but the ball was descending quickly, and Daniels has 2 hits in the inning. And Fort Morgan proving why they are 13-3 on the year. And Trevor Shirtliff will now hit. Shirtliff popped up earlier in this inning. Runner goes, pitches high, throw to second will be late, and into center field. And Daniels to third, and that throw's going to skip away, but Daniels going to stay right there. So no balls and 1 strike on Shirtliff. Daniels with a stolen base, second error of the inning by the catcher, Reed. And again, 4 of those runs are unearned. No balls and 1 strike. Ledesma looking for the sign. And the pitch. Swung on. That ball is lifted towards center field. Howard rotating it, makes the catch. And the inning is over. Shirtliff, unfortunately for him, committed 2 outs in the same inning, but doesn't matter to him because he knows that the Mustangs put together a 7-run frame. On 6 hits, there were 2 errors and a man left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan 7, and the Blue Devils of Fort Lupton are coming to bat on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs put up a 7 spot in the top of the first inning here in Fort Lupton against the Blue Devils. And we will head to the bottom of the first, and Carlito Urquiera is on the hill, the right-hander for the Mustangs. And John Cook, the left fielder, will be leading off. Hitting from the right side, the pitch swing and a miss on a changeup. It's 0-1. The lineup for Fort Lupton will go like this. The offering, and the curveball is a beauty. Urquiera is 6-0 with a 5.25 ERA. Lorenzo Antuna, the second baseman, hits second. Andrew Adame, the third baseman, hits third. Manny Ledesma bats fourth. John Howard fifth. Swing and a miss on a sweeping fastball. And there's 1 down on the strikeout. Riley Reed hits sixth. Andrew Segovia hits seventh. Hector Chavita 8th, and Christian Angel 9th. Here's Antuna, another right-handed hitter. Here's the wind and pitch. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Nate Cage is at first. Bladen Pollitt at second. The third baseman is Austin Cosman. Trevor Shirtliff at short. Grounded down to the third baseman, Cosman. He backhands, throws to first. Perfect, and there's 2 down. Around the outfield, Kenny Keller's in left. The center fielder is Kyle Daniels. McBride is in right. Schneider behind the plate. And as we mentioned, Urquiera's recorded the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Here is Andrew Adame, the third baseman for Fort Lupton. They're coached by Jeff Allen. The Mustangs by Josh Langford. That curveball in there for a strike, belt high. Carlito's got his good stuff going early. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on and lifted foul and out of play. 0-2. 178 runs have been given up by Fort Lupton in 11 league games, and now make it 185 with the Mustangs up 7-0. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball down and away. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Carlito Urquiera. Let's head to the second in Fort Lupton. Fort Morgan 7, Fort Lupton nothing. This is Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 7-0 here in the top half of the second inning on a gorgeous Wednesday in Fort Lupton. And the Mustangs will send up the heart of the order, Austin Cosman, Joey Schneider, and Carlito Urquieta against the right-hander Manny Ledesma. Mustangs took advantage of a couple of errors to score 4 unanswered runs in the opening frame.
Up to bat, number 16.
Austin Cosman delivered his 29th base hit of the season. He's now hitting exactly .500. The changeup is down and away. 29 of 58. Definitely a first-team All-Colorado 7 League performer, even before the list comes out. And he 1-0. And he takes a changeup down and away again. 2 balls and no strikes. Cosman digs in. And the 2-0. And he takes a changeup down and away again. 3 balls and no strikes. Let's see if Austin's taking on the 3-0. He will, and it's a strike on the inside corner. At the knees, it's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike to the senior third baseman. And the pitch. And he swings and misses at a changeup. Down and away, it's 3-2. I think he was anticipating perhaps a fastball. Took a fastball swing and was extremely early. And the payoff to Austin. He swings and taps it down the third baseline. Adame drops the ball on the second hop. Now throws to first late. And Cosman beats it out easily. The third error committed by Fort Lupton. And unfortunately, that was a Sunday hop. And here's Joey Schneider. Schneider singled in his first plate appearance. That base hit by Schneider in the first inning was one of 6 hits the Mustangs picked up. Runner going. The ball is outside. Throw to second. Cosman has a stolen base. Got a great jump on that one. Throw is up the second base side. 1 ball and no strikes to Schneider. And it's not like the Mustangs can clear the bench in this game. They brought only 11 players. Anthony Abrego and Hector Luna are on the bench. That's it. So the starter's going to have to stay in there. And the 1-0. Swung on, grounded to short. A Sunday hop for Angels. Sets, throws a little bit high, and coming down on the bag. Well, was he late? And he was the first baseman. Segovia, they're going to, yep, he's called safe. Luna will run. It's an error on the shortstop Angel on the errant throw.
Up next bat, number 2.
And that's error number 4. Committed by Fort Lupton. Came right down on the bag, but Schneider beat it. Urquieta now bats. Urquieta singled and drove in a run, later scored. Step off, no throw by Ledesma. And Ledesma's got to be frustrated. He's not getting any help defensively. He's actually throwing pretty well out here. And the pitch, squaring to bunt, and takes it for a strike. Actually kind of waved at that. It's 0-1. So both Cosman and Schneider, both 1 for 2 with singles in the first, and he reached on infield errors here in the second. Cosman off of second, Luna at first, step off, no throw. And Fort Morgan already with a huge lead. And we're only in the top half of the second inning. No balls and 1 strike. Throw back to second. Back in standing is Cosman. The second baseman Antuna covering there on the play. Cosman again with a huge lead at second. Ledesma looks back. Long pause. And the pitch squaring to bunt. And he tried to lay it down and missed it completely. Urquieta has not looked good on these 2 bunt attempts. It's 0-2. He waved at both and didn't even make contact. Now he's got to swing away. No balls and 2 strikes. The stretch by the right-hander Ledesma. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball in the dirt. Or did he get a piece of it? He did. Barely got a piece of it. wouldn't have been able to advance had he missed the ball entirely because first base is occupied. Nice job of Urquieta getting a piece of the baseball. And the offering. Swing and a miss. He struck him out of a changeup down and in. And there's one down. That might have been Carlitos' worst at-bat of the season. Here's Kenny Keller, who grounded out, but he drove in a run with that ground out in the opening frame. Keller's been a master at pulling the ball this year. Likes to use that whole body. The stretch and the pitch. And he takes it for a strike on the outer half of the knees with a fastball. It's 0-1. Ledesma might be thinking he should be out of the inning with the two errors preceding the strikeout. The stretch. And the 0-1. And he swings and lifts it into shallow right center field. That one might drop. That one is going to fall right behind the second baseman Antuna for a hit. The runners advance. Cosman to third and Luna to second. Well, just as I said, he likes to pull the ball. He popped one into shallow right center field. Not hit well, but hit in the perfect spot. And the Mustangs pick up their 7th hit. Trey McBride walked in the opening frame. And the freshman will now hit. Fort Morgan has not had good swings in this inning as opposed to the first inning against Ledesma. Ledesma looks at third, and the offering, and that's in the dirt, skips away, but not far away from Reed. 1 ball and no strikes. Willow Coffee, Tea and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery. Their perfect combination, open 6 days a week. 921 Edison Street in Brush. Willow Coffee, Tea and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery. 1-0. Outside. Took something off it. It's 2-0. McBride in the number 7 hole. And the Mustangs lead by that many in the second. Cosman, Luna, and Keller take their leads. 2-0 pitch. Swung on. That ball is drilled down the left field line, headed for the corner. That's going to score at least 2 runs. Cosman steps on home plate. Here comes Luna. And the third is going to be Keller. It's going to be held up right there. It's a 2-run double for Trey McBride, and the Mustangs lead 9-0 in the top of the second inning. Waited on that changeup and drilled it.
Up next at bat, number 18.
And that'll send up Nate Cage. Cage reached on that error. That little pop-up drop by Reed, the catcher. The pitch, and he takes it for a strike. Nope, just off the plate. Thought he signaled strike, but that was not the case. 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch by Ledesma, and the offering, and the curveball is up and in. 2-0 to Cage. Fort Morgan scored 7 of their 9 runs in the opening inning. 2-0 the stretch by Ledesma. Cage awaits the pitch, and he takes it for a strike. The changeup on the outer half, it's 2-1. With Keller at third, McBride at second. The Mustangs have 2 hits in the inning, a single by Keller, a double by McBride. The offering, swung on, pop found out of play behind the screen. The count moves to 2-2. High Plains Bank offers a wide variety of products that can be customized to fit your individual needs. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank in Wiggins. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 in, 1 down. 9-0 Fort Morgan and Fort Lupton. The offering, swung on, grounded, foul down the third base line. Another changeup thrown by Ledesma, who's already tossed 61 pitches in an inning and a third. However, he's only allowed 3 earned runs. The defense has committed 4 errors. The pitch, swung on and driven in the air to center field. Howard to his left, ranges under it, now backs up and makes the catch. Tagging at third and scoring is Keller. McBride to third. It's a sac fly for Cage. And Fort Morgan has 3 across into second. It's the Mustangs 10 and the Blue Devils nothing. And here's Adrian Marquez.
Number 10.
Marquez had a 2-run single in his first at bat. And he's got a shot for another RBI with a runner at third and 2 down. Ledesma looks back, and the offering. Swung on and grounded left side. Adame backs up, fields it on the second hop, throws to first. That's going to be offline and safe as Marquez. McBride scores and another error, and the Mustangs now lead 11-0. And again, all these runs are unearned. There's Kyle Daniels, who's got a couple of hits in the game. Yeah, you just hate to see the defense let you down when you're a pitcher. 11 runs and only 3 of them are earned. And the pitch, a little bit high with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. It's a very young team, and they're showing it right now. And the offering runner going is taken for a strike with a changeup, slide at second, and safe. And now the ball went into center field, but Marquez will stay right there. 1 ball, 1 strike. To Kyle Daniels with another man in scoring position and 2 down. Ledesma looks back to stretch, and the offering swung on, lifted foul, and out of play off to the left. Count is at 1-2. Now these Blue Devils have had some one-sided games this year. 1-2. Daniels awaits. Swung on and lined on 2 big hops by the second baseman into right center field. That's a hit. Here comes Marquez around third. The throw goes all the way through. Now Daniels to second on the throw home. And it's now Fort Morgan leading 12-0. And Daniels has 3 hits in the game. Trevor Shirtliff is 0 for 2. As he steps in here in the top half of the second inning. The pitch up and away with a changeup. One ball and no strikes. Yeah, we knew this would be one-sided. Unfortunately, Fort Lupton contributing. Swung on and popped up into shallow right field. A long run ranging under it and making the catch is Chavita. And Shirtliff is 0 for 3. However, the Mustangs, for the second straight inning, put together a big inning as they score 5 runs, and the Mustangs do it on 3 hits, 3 errors, and a man left. Let's head to the bottom of the second. It is Fort Morgan 12, Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. And Manny Ledesma takes the first pitch for a ball. Second pitch hits into right field. Throw to first is going to be offline. It'll be a base hit. McBride tried to throw out Ledesma on that grounder into right field and nearly did so. A perfect throw would have been interesting, but it's a base hit for Manny Ledesma to begin the bottom of the second inning as Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 12-0. Here's the right-handed hitting center fielder John Howard. Urquieta struck out 2 in the opening frame. The stretch and the offering in the dirt. One with a fastball, 1 ball and no strikes. At this point, just attack the hitters and get out of there quickly like Fort Morgan did in the bottom of the first inning. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss, threw it right by him on the changeup. It's 1-1. 25-15 was their lone victory. Fort Lupton's against Aurora Central. 3-step lead, throw back to first, and fairly close, but back in standing is Ledesma. One ball, 1 strike. Urquieta stretches, and the pitch. Breaking ball is fouled off to the right and out of play. It's 1-2. And it sounded like a vehicle took it square. 1-2 to Cook. Check that to Howard. Riley Reed is on deck. Schneider lays down the sign. Looking back is Carlito. And the offering. Fastball is a little bit down and away. Very close. But the count is at 2-2. 12 runs on 9 hits. No errors for Fort Morgan. No runs, 1 hit, 5 errors for the Blue Devils. And the offering. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Howard strikes out. That's strikeout number 3 for Carlito Urquieta. One down for the catcher, Riley Reed. Another right-handed hitter for Fort Lupton. The Mustangs at double play depth. The stretch by Urquieta, the pitch. In the dirt with a changeup, 1 ball and no strikes. Pete's Farmers Cooperative been in business since 1915, and they're still the small-town company that cares about each of their individual customers. Pete's Farmers Cooperative. 1 ball, no strikes. Ledesma with a 2.5-step lead. The pitch swung on and grounded on 1 hop to Pollitt to his left. The second for 1. Short left to first. That is a double play. 4-6-3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the third. Fort Morgan 12, Fort Lupton nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. We head to the top of the third in Fort Lupton, and the Mustangs lead 12-0. And we have a new pitcher, Isaiah Padilla. Now on the hill. Looks like we have a new first baseman as well. Adame's at first. Yeah, it appears that Ledesma is going to move to third. Everything else stays the same. But again, of the 12 runs allowed by the starter Ledesma, only 3 were earned. And his line is not all that bad when you look at that stat. Padilla, right-hander. Got to play the defense behind him. If not, a team like the Mustangs will take advantage quickly, and they have with 7 runs in the opening frame and 5 more in inning number 2. And the hitter is Austin Cosman. He led off the second, reaching on an error by the third baseman, Adame. And the pitch is a fastball for a strike down the middle. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And a pitch. And that curveball's in there for a strike as well. On the outer half of the knees, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Cosman. The wind and offering. Swung on, pop foul, and out of play behind the screen. It's 0-2. It remains at 0-2, I should say. Got a fastball that time. Yeah, you're at the mercy of a pitcher when they change speeds, because then you have to do a little bit of guessing, especially in a pitcher's count. Fastball is swung on, drilled into deep left center field. Way back is Howard to the track, and it is gone. A home run for Austin Cosman. Cosman drills his second home run of the season. It comes on an 0-2 pitch on a fastball up in the zone. And the Mustangs have a baker's dozen. Fort Morgan 13, Fort Lupton nothing. And if he was a guess hitter, he guessed right. The quick wrist by Austin Cosman. And there's Joey Schneider. He singled and reached on an error. The right-hander Padilla delivers. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. To Joey Schneider, already his third plate appearance. And the offering, and that one is low, took something off it. Count is sitting at 2-0. Yeah, Fort Morgan has just 3 times left of the plate, you would think. Should be a 5-inning game. The offering, swung on and tapped foul down the third base side. Moves the count to 2-1. With that Cosman home run, the Mustangs now have 10 hits in the game. And again, every time the Mustangs score, or even the opponent for that matter, we update it on Twitter at B106 or on a B106 Facebook page. So you can get a scoring account of this game. Curveball is inside. 3-1. To Joey Schneider. These two teams will play on Friday in Fort Morgan. 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. Once again, no radio tomorrow against Vista Peak. The offering swung on foul, back with a fastball. It's 3-2. Yeah, the original game was rained out against Vista Peak on the 17th. We were there on the 25th last Saturday, ready to broadcast the game when there were no umpires, and we didn't get word of that until we arrived at the field. The pitch swung on. That ball is laced into deep left center field. Goodbye for Schneider. Cosman and Schneider have done the same exact thing each of their first three at-bats. Single reaching on an error, and then a home run. And for Joey Schneider, that is his second of the season. Back-to-back for Cosman and Schneider. And the Mustangs now lead 14-0 in the third. And not only that, they hit him in the same spot over the left center field fence. That one, though, came on a 3-2 pitch. That's the only difference. Carlito is single, driving in a run and struck out. That came against the starting pitcher, Manny Ledesma. And Padilla delivers. And the changeup is low. 1 ball and no strikes. That one's away. Tried the same location and missed. 2-0 to Carlito. Padilla delivers. Swung on, popped up towards the catcher along the first baseline. Let's see if Padilla calls him off, and the ball drops behind the catcher, Reed. It'll just be a strike. Had trouble locating it. Might have been easier for Padilla to make the catch. Nonetheless, it's 2-1. That's a tough play. Wasn't exactly straight overhead. Carlito gets a reprieve. No error on that one. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Mustangs have had multiple run innings in each of the first 3. And that was the same type of ball that Cage hit that fell in fair territory, down and away with a changeup, and it's 3-1. Three balls and 1 strike. Wine and offering, and he bounces it in there, gets away from Reed towards the screen. Carlito walks. And that's only the second walk issued by Fort Lupton pitching. And here's Kenny Keller. Keller is grounded out, driving in a run, and he's also singled. Still nobody out in the third. The Mustangs lead 14-0. Throw back to first, back in diving is Carlito. Keller digging in for the right side with the open stance. The stretch. And Padilla delivers. And the fastball a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes. As we mentioned, Ledesma threw only 2 innings, but allowed just 3 earned runs of the 12. He clipped 60 pitches. The offering. That's a strike with a changeup on the outer half at the knees. It's 1-1. Padilla's given up solo homers to begin the third from Cosman and Schneider, both over the left center field fence. Just to the right of the 340 mark. The offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right, cued off the fists. One ball and 2 strikes. With Urquieta at first. Reed lays down the sign. I don't think the Mustangs will be stealing with this type of lead. The pitch. And the curveball's up and in. 2-2. Keller just stays in that box, doesn't mess around with those feet. Padilla at the belt. And the offering. Called strike 3. Fastball in the outside corner just above the knees. And Keller is caught looking. He's out number 1. And Trey McBride, who's walked in double, driving in 2, steps inside the batter's box. And that might have been a little bit off the plate, but in a 14-0 game, the corner is going to go to the pitcher. No question about it. I think Keller thought it was definitely a ball, but you got to protect in a game like this. And Reed setting up on the outside corner. Padilla looks in, long pause. The offering in the dirt, scooped up by Reed. 1 ball and no strikes. You have the option of selling your beans on the spot or storing products in the facilities at Trinidad Benham for future transactions. Give them a call, 522-3595, Trinidad Benham. And when it comes to livestock feed, you can rely on Colorado Soy to help deal with the nutritional needs of your livestock. They're at coloradosoy.com. The pitch swung on, pop foul and out of play and off to the right. The count moves to 1-1 on Trey McBride, officially 1 for 1 in the game. Yeah, the highlight for Lupton fans when a ball goes foul and it nearly hits or does hit a vehicle. 7 runs in the first, 5 in the second, 2 in the third for the Mustangs. On a gorgeous Wednesday, getting even prettier for Fort Morgan. The stretch by Padilla. McBride awaits. Here's the pitch in the dirt, and it skips by Reed. That'll be a wild pitch to second. Advances the Mustang runner Urquieta. 2-1. Yeah, the Mustangs will be taking off on anything like that is a wild pitch or a pass ball. Padilla looks back, and the offering, and that is outside. Ball 3, strike 1. Yeah, lots of times these games can go by rather quickly when they're only 5-inning games, but we'll see. We played 50 minutes of baseball, 5-0. And the offering, and that's in the dirt. McBride walks for the second time of the game. Second walk issued by Padilla in the inning. Third by a Fort Lupton pitcher. And Nate Cage, who has reached on an error and delivered a sac fly, will now bat for the Mustangs. And it looks like Anthony Abrego will be the base runner at first for McBride. Yeah, just to get... Oh, no, it's going to be Luna. Check that. It will be Luna. So here's Cage. And Padilla steps off. Mustangs more than likely will go into postseason play with a 16-3 record. And that should place them anywhere, you would think, between a 12 and an 18 or 19 seed. That ball is drilled into left field for a base hit. Urquieta rounds third, and he's going to score. Advancing to second is Luna. Give Nate Cage the RBI single, and the Mustangs now lead Fort Lupton in the third. It's 15-0.
Up next bat, number 10.
Cage got all of that one. Adrian Marquez has reached on an error, and prior to that, had a 2-run single. Padilla with 2 men on. Looking back, long pause in the pitch. And that changeup is a strike at the knees on the outer half. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch swung on, tap foul up the third base side. Count moves to 0-2 on the 9th place hitter. The Mustangs have batted around 3 times already. And only 7 outs have been recorded by Fort Lupton. Defensively, Luna at second, Cage at first. And the 0-2. Curveball is grounded slowly down the third baseline. No play there for Ledesma. He'll pick it up and won't even throw it. It's an infield hit for Marquez, his second hit of the game. And the bases are loaded for Kyle Daniels, who's 3 for 3. And the Mustangs have 13 hits in the game. And again, they didn't bring a ton of players here. There's only 11. And they got to keep the starters out there for the most part. Swung on, that ball is grounded to third. Ledesma comes to the plate for the force. And Luna's cut down at home plate on the force. There's 2 down. Well, that's a big out recorded there by Fort Lupton just to prevent a bigger inning by Fort Morgan. And now it will be Abrego running for Daniels. I don't think Daniels is too happy about making it out there. Now Shirtliff is 0 for 3. He's popped to center twice and to right once, so he's gotten the ball out of the infield every time, but has nothing to show for it thus far. And he will now bat with 2 down and the bases loaded against the right-hander Padilla. Fort Morgan has scored 3 in the inning. Cage at third, Marquez at second. Abrego at first. Wind and pitch. Fastball for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the wind and offering. And that is down and away. Barely missed. The count is level at 1-1. Righty against righty in the top of the third. And the offering swung on and fisted into right center field above the lunging Antuna for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes Marquez. And the third is Abrego. It's a 2-run single for Shirtliff. His first hit of the game, and the Mustangs now lead 17-0 in the third inning. Hit it in the perfect spot. And it produced 2 runs. Austin Cosman led off the inning with a home run as he now bats for Fort Morgan. Another 5-run inning to pitch. Fastball is down and away. One ball and no strikes to Cosman. Padilla delivers a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Count moves to 1-1. With Abrego at third, Shirtliff at first. The stretch and pitch. Curveball is grounded to the third baseman, Ledesma. Backhands it, throws to first, and Cosman is out, number 3. But the Mustangs in the third put up another 5 spot on 5 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third in 1 minute. It's Fort Morgan 17 and Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. All right, the Mustangs lead going into the bottom of the third inning, 17-0. A few changes. Kenny Keller is now the catcher. Joey Schneider at third. Or no, check that. Schneider's at short. Cosman remains at third. The pitch, a strike with a fastball. It's 0-1. Yeah, the outfield had to have changed a little bit. The pitch, swing and a miss on a fastball above the letters. To the left-handed hitting Andrew Segovia. No balls and 2 strikes. Urquiera did allow a hit in the second inning. Yeah, I think that's Abrego in left field and Luna in right. That's my guess right now. I have to see when they get. Daniels is in the dugout. Yeah, the whole outfield is different. That has changed. Shirtliff is in center now. We know that. The pitch swung on in line towards left center field. That's a base hit on an 0-2 hanger thrown by Urquiera. Second hit of the game for Fort Lupton. Here's Isaiah Padilla. Padilla hitting out of the 8-hole. The stretch by Urquieta. The Mustangs turned a double play in the second inning. The breaking ball's a strike, swing and a miss. No balls and one strike. To Isaiah Padilla. Awaiting the pitch. Throw back to first, back in diving. Is Urquieta. Or check that. He's the pitcher. How's that going to happen? Is Segovia. No balls, one strike. 17-0 Fort Morgan. The pitch. Fastball. It's a strike on the outer half of the knees. It's 0-2. Fort Lupton has had 2 base runners in the first 3 innings. Mustangs have home runs in the game from Cosman and Schneider. The stretch. And the offering. And the curveball is up and away. Count moves to 1-2. The Mustangs scored 7 in the first, 5 in the second, 5 in the third. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody out in the bottom of the third inning in Fort Lupton. Urquieta stretches. And the offering. And that ball nearly hit him. A fastball. Below the knees, it's 2-2. Now, Fort Lupton's got to put together a major rally just to extend it to a 6th inning. But we're only in the bottom of the third. Nobody out. The stretch and the offering. Breaking ball is in the dirt, blocked by Keller. 3-2. Urquieta's thrown only 25 pitches. And about a 7th of those to this particular hitter. Actually, how about 20% of those? The pitch. Outside, and he walks him. There's Christian Angel, first and second. Well, Fort Lupton's thinking at this point they got a shot to score a run. So Angel steps in with 2 runners on and nobody out. And Urquieta doesn't want to get sloppy in this inning with a sizable lead. The leadoff hitter in the lineup, John Cook, is on deck. The pitch, fastball is up and away. Yeah, I know he doesn't have Schneider back there, but Keller seems to be doing a good job framing pitches and certainly opening up that glove. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering, curveball, swing and a miss. That was a beauty. Way out in front was Angel. It's 1-1. 17 runs on 14 hits for Fort Morgan. No runs on 2 hits for Fort Lupton. And the pitch. Curveball is lifted to a Pollitt on 1 hop. He throws to second for 1. And the throw to first is going to be late on a little flare. Pollitt drove to his left, a half swing there. Taken by Angel. And it turns into a fielder's choice. Yeah, that was very odd. The runners actually had to hold a little bit. Didn't know if it would be caught. Here's John Cook, who struck out in the opening frame against this right-hander, Urquieta. And their first shot to score in this game is right now. Runners take their leads. Urquieta delivers, and the fastball is a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, you turn a double play. It's a different infield with Schneider at short, but he made a nice throw to first. The ball wasn't hit hard enough, though. The offering, swing and a miss to the fastball right by Cook. And the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. At third is Segovia. Angel at first. Urquieta stretches and the pitch. Swing and a miss on a sweeping breaking ball. And it is 1-2. And when he's had that pitch going, it's been tough to make contact against. But this is easily the inning that Urquieta struggled the most. And the 1-2. That is a called strike three, a fastball in the inside corner. And it's a strikeout for Urquieta, his fourth. Two down. Lorenzo Antuna, the second baseman, grounded out to the third baseman, Cosman, in the first. In his only plate appearance. Carlito looking over at first, but there's two down. Take care of the hitter. The runners don't matter. The pitch. Curveball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Now, you can hold runners, but it matters a lot more when there's 1 down than when there's 2 down. 1 ball, no strikes. Keller lays down the sign. And now time is called. Your one-stop center for home improvement projects, Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. For flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more. That's Ackley Building Center. And the pitch runner going. It's in the dirt with a changeup. No throw. And 2 runners in scoring position. As Angel steals second. 2 balls and no strikes. A base is open with Adame on deck. Urquieta out of the windup. The pitch. That's a fastball for a strike. Just above letter level, or belt level, below letter level. It's 2-1. Again, Keller lays down the sign. And the 2-1. Swing and a foul to the screen on the changeup. It's 2-2. Urquieta looking to put up a goose egg for the 3rd consecutive inning. But Fort Lupton has 2 in scoring position. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 down. The wind and pitch. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, and Antuna strikes out. Strikeout number 5 for Carlito Urquieta, and Fort Lupton is kept off the scoreboard. They get a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. 3 complete. It's Fort Morgan 17, Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. And the Mustangs lead 17-0 headed to the top of the 4th inning. And Joey Schneider will lead off for Fort Morgan. He homered in his last at-bat. He's also singled and reached on an error. And Isaiah Padilla will begin his 2nd inning of work. Here's the wind by the right-hander of the pitch. Swung on and drilled for a base hit into left field. Ledesma tried to go down on that one, but it was hit pretty sharply, and Schneider now 3 out of 4 in the game. More than likely he'll get a courtesy runner over there. Let's see. No, he's going to stay in there. Here's Carlito Urquieta. He singled, struck out, and walked. The stretch and the offering. A little bit outside with a fastball. It's 1-0. Yeah, the home plate umpire is going to call a strike on anything close. In a 17-0 game, nothing is going to favor the hitter. The offering. Swung on and grounded left side. That's a base hit into left field. Schneider to second. And the Mustangs now have 16 hits in the game. Urquieta sets it up for Kenny Keller, who's grounded out, singled, and struck out. Mustang hitters not introduced here, just the numbers by the PA. The stretch, throw back to second. Schneider back in diving. Had a pretty big lead out there. Doesn't run the bases a lot because he usually gets a courtesy runner. But in a game with this type of margin, he's out there. The stretch by Padilla. Pitch to Keller. In the dirt, scooped up nicely by the catcher Reed. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Just 2 innings to go in the game, you'd think. You got to go at least 5 with the visiting team leading by at least 10. They're up by 17. Swing and a miss on a changeup at the letters. And the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike to Kenny Keller. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Equitable Savings and Loan. That is drilled into center field on a line. Howard is back. Leaps makes the catch. Schneider tags. He will advance to third. And there's one down. That'll send up Trey McBride. Check that. Hector Luna will now hit in the spot after McBride walked twice and stroked a 2-run double. So Hector, I'm sure, welcoming the rare at bat for him. Been coming off the bench quite a bit. The stretch. Pitch to Hector. And the changeup is low. Luna's looking for his first hit of the season. And only 4 at-bats. 1 ball, no strikes, the offering. Swung on, tap, foul, and the fastball up the third base side. Count levels at 1-1. To Hector Luna. And Nate Cage is waiting on deck. I believe every Mustang is a hit. Trevor Shurtleff was 0 for 3, then delivered a 2-run single. Padilla stretches with runners at the corners. The pitch swung on and lifted down the right side, and that is drifting into foul territory and out of play. And the count moves to 1-2 on Luna. Hector just looking to drive in a run. Fort Morgan has not scored in the frame. And the offering. Curveball is foul-tipped into the glove of Reed. It's a strikeout. And there's 2 down. 2 down for Nate Cage. Reached on an air, delivered a sac fly, and singled. Here's the big, strong sophomore first baseman. Awaiting the pitch. Swag and a miss. Padilla threw the fastball right by him. It is 0-1. Schneider at third. Urquieta at first with 2 down in the top of the fourth. Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 17-0. And the pitch swung on, tap foul up the third base side. Count is at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Reed lays down the sign. And the pitch. Curveball is tapped foul again up the third base side into the Fort Lupton dugout. Cage kept his hands back just enough to get a piece of that one. We'll see another 0-2 from Padilla. 31 strikes, 18 balls so far. The pitch in the dirt, blocked by Reed. Ball 1, strike 2. Yeah, it should be a hit fest for Fort Morgan the next 3 days, obviously starting today. Tomorrow at Vista Peak and Friday at home against Fort Lupton. The offering, swung on, drill down the left field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is foul. He got every piece of that baseball, but pulled it just a tad. And it stays at 1-2 to Nate Cage. Fort Morgan with 1 more run than hit. They've stranded 4. That really doesn't matter in a game like this. Mustangs just have to record 6 outs, and they will pick up their 14th win and improve to 12-0 in league play. So here we go. 1 ball and 2 strikes once again to the right-handed hitting first baseman Cage. The pitch. Slow curve is drilled high and deep into left center field. Howard is way back to the fence. Gone! A 3-run homer for Nate Cage. The 3rd home run of the game hit by the Mustangs. And in the 4th inning, Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 20-0. And here comes Adrian Marquez. Well, maybe not. This will be Bladen Pollitt. Just waited on that pitch, and now Pollitt will step in. We'll have a visit to the hill. That's the first home run with men on base in the game. Cosman and Schneider had back-to-back solo home runs. Well, you could tell that Cage was locked in that at-bat because that foul ball he hit was on the line. That one he got some lift to. And all 3 home runs have been hit over the left center field fence. And I don't know if we have a change here. The umpire must be indicating we have one. Padilla still on the hill. It's just Pollitt. Yeah, just on the lineup card, Blade and Pollitt will hit. Bladen has actually driven in 9, but the average has been in the 100s here recently. But now looking to improve upon that. The pitch, fastball is a strike down the middle, belt high, it's 0-1. Here's the wind and offering. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Second baseman Antuna to his right has it on a Sunday hop, throws to first. And Pollitt is retired, and so are the Mustangs in the top of the 4th inning. However, Fort Morgan gets a 3-run homer from Nate Cage. They pick up 3 hits in the frame. No errors and nobody left. 3.5 complete. It is Fort Morgan 20, Fort Lupton nothing on B106 and B106.com. Bladen Pollitt will be the new pitcher for Fort Morgan. And now Carlito goes over to second. He's still the pitcher of record. With the Mustangs up by a score of 20-0. It'll be Andrew Adami, Manny Ledesma, John Howard for Fort Lupton in the bottom half of the 4th inning. I don't know how much Pollitt has pitched this season. I haven't seen him on the hill for a while. Well, Pollitt has thrown a total of 1 inning, and he allowed a run. He got more work in his junior year a year ago. Here's the wind and pitch. Down and away with a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Adami struck out his first time up. Wind and offering. That's a fastball for a strike. Down the middle. Belt high, it's 1-1. The Blue Devils have 2 hits in the game. Wind and offering. Fastball is up and away. Kenny Keller still behind the plate for Fort Morgan, giving Schneider a rest. Ball 2, strike 1. Wind and pitch. Swung on and lifted to left center field. A long run. That ball might find a gap, and it does as Shirtliff gets chased. He'll flag it down shy of the warning track and into second with a leadoff doubles. Adame, Fort Lupton's 3rd hit of the game.
Up next, number 9, Manny Ledesma.
Here's Ledesma, and he had a base hit. His first time up to right field, as McBride tried to throw him out at that point, as the ball was hit fairly sharply over there. Pollitt gets the sign. The stretch. Looking back, the pitch. Breaking ball is grounded left side. Schneider has it go right underneath his glove. And now the throw to third and the tag, and safe. It was a late start over there by Adami at second. That'll be an error on Schneider.
Up next, number 14, John.
The ball was deep in the hole, but against a slow-footed hitter, I think he had a good shot at getting him. There's John Howard. Struck out swinging his first time up. With runners at the corners and nobody down. In the bottom half of the fourth inning, the stretch by Pollitt and the pitch. Fastball is up and in. One ball and no strikes. And the offering. Up and in again. 2-0. Come on, Blade. Get these pitches over the plate. Allow these four Lupton hitters to put it in play. With a 20-0 Mustang lead in the bottom of the fourth inning. This is the number 5 hitter in the Fort Lupton lineup. 2-0. Not even close. Up and in with a curveball. It's 3-0. Now, Fort Lupton needs to score 11 runs to extend it to a 6th inning, but we're only in the 4th, so you still have another at-bat in the 5th to pitch. Again, not close. Fastball up and away. And now the bases are loaded after the walk, and here's Riley Reed, who grounded out in his first at-bat.
Come on, Riley.
So the Blue Devils with a huge threat in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pollitt out of the windup with the bases full of Blue Devils. Wind and pitch. Fastball bounces in. That is 5 consecutive pitches out of the strike zone. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering. Swung on in, grounded to short. Schneider has the ball go over his right shoulder. Terrible hop. That's going to be a base hit. Nothing he could do there. That was a horrendous hop. Scoring as Adame, give Riley Reed the base hit. And Fort Lupton is on the board. It's 20-1.
Up next, number 6, Eddie Segovia.
There's Andrew Segovia. Yeah, there was no way off an awful hop that Schneider could do anything with that. Stretch and pitch. And the breaking ball is a strike on the outer half at 0-1. To Segovia. Again, a left-handed hitter for Fort Lupton. And that ball is down and in on a fastball. Ledesma third, Howard at second, Reed at first. Still nobody down, bottom of the 4th inning. Wine in the 1-1. Swung on and popped foul and out of play off to the left. I think that Pollard is a little bit upset now. Maybe with himself a little bit as well. Especially with himself. He's bringing the gas now. Wind, 1-2 pitch, and the breaking ball swung on and missed, and he cannot advance. The ball was in a dirt. Throw back to first, and safe is that trail runner Reed. There's one down as Segovia strikes out. Strikeout number 6 by a Fort Morgan pitcher. Here's Isaiah Padilla, who walked in his first at bat. Mustangs can end the inning with a double play. And the pitch swung on and lifted in the infield on the left side, ranging into foul territory as Schneider, the shortstop. And the ball, is it going to drop fair? It does. It drops fair on the clay before it gets to the edge of the grass. That was totally misplayed. And that's going to be a base hit as a run scores. Ledesma crosses home plate. And that is so obvious watching that one that Schneider is not your normal shortstop. A very makeable play. It's now 20-2. And the bases are reloaded. The pitch to Angel. And the breaking ball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, that was a simple pop. And that pitch is outside. Angel hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Wine in the 2-0. Up and away. Yeah, and there's no doubt this has got to be flustering this pitcher, Pollitt. 3-0, the offering. And that's a strike with a fastball in the outer half. 3-1. Howard at third, Reed at second, Padilla at first. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Throw a fastball in the inside corner. It's 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. Go with straight heat here. The pitch. And he walked him. That pitch was above the letters. Angel with the RBI walk. Howard scores. It's 20-3. And there's still only one out. Here's Martinez. Wind and pitch. Inside. Took something off it. 1 ball and no strikes. Pollitt ready. And the 1-0. Curveball swing and a miss way out in front to Modesto Martinez. Count is leveled at 1-1. Reed at third now. Padilla at second, Angel at first. It's a 3-run frame for Fort Lupton. The offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball above the letters. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pollard has already thrown 25 pitches in the inning. 1-2 to Martinez. Throw back to third, and they got him! Cosman applies the tag, and Reed is picked off. And there's 2 down. I think that's the last thing that Reed expected. Now 1 strike away from getting out of what has been a mess for Fort Morgan. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Martinez. Pollitt looks back to pitch, and the curveball is up and in. 2-2. Padilla off of second, Angel at first. Pollitt delivers. Swing and a miss and a fastball in the inside corner. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Pollitt. But Fort Lupton puts up 3 runs on 3 hits, a Mustang air, and 2 men left. We head to the 5th inning, the final inning here in Fort Lupton. It's Fort Morgan 20, Fort Lupton 3 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads in Fort Lupton over the Blue Devils 20-3. And the Blue Devils need to score 8 runs to extend the game to a 6th. It'll be Lorenzo Antuna, Andrew Adame, and Manny Ledesma, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, against Bladen Pollitt, who didn't pitch that badly. Struggled a little bit, but, man, didn't get much on defense. But then again, you've got a revamped defense for Fort Morgan. Wind and pitch. Fastball is upstairs. Antuna's grounded out and struck out. Pollitt did record 2 strikeouts in the 4th inning. And the 1-0, and the breaking ball is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Wind and pitch. There's a strike. Took something off it. Mustang pitchers have 7 strikeouts in the game and have walked 3. And the 2-1. Swung on. That ball is driven deep into left center field, way back towards the track. And that one is up against the bottom of the fence. Antuna's going to stay at first, though. The ball's back in quickly. He only got a single out of that. His first hit of the game, but he hit the ball well over 300 feet and got a single. I know Shirtliff is no longer out there in center. I believe that was Abrego chasing it down, but no reason to only get a single out of that. Here's Adame, who struck out and doubled. For Fort Lupton, that is their 6th hit of the game. Unfortunately, they've committed 6 errors. Still back to first, and Antuna back in diving. Yeah, you hit a ball that well, you got to get at least 2. The stretch. Pollard delivers. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. This is only the 3rd inning Bladen has worked this year, the 2nd in this game, and obviously the rust is evident. The pitch. Breaking ball, a strike. On the inner half, it's 1-1. Mustang post-game show coming up shortly after this game. Keller lays down the sign. Stretched by Pollitt. And the 1-1. Curveball, swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Tied him up on the inside corner. Fort Morgan leads in the bottom of the 5th inning, 20-3 in Fort Lupton. The count is at 1-2. And the offering. That is a called strike 3 fastball in the outer half just above the knees. Strikeout number 3 for Pollitt. One down in the 5th inning. Strikeout number 8 by a Mustang pitcher. Manny Ledesma singled and reached on an error. Pollitt delivers. Curveball is in the dirt, blocked by Keller. 1 ball and no strikes. Once again, a final announcement. No radio tomorrow. The Mustangs will be at Vista Peak, but our next game will be the final regular season game on Friday at home against Fort Lupton on B106 and B106.com. And the 1-0 down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Ledesma officially at 1 for 2. Godlito is now at short, by the way. And the pitch swung on and grounded for a base hit beyond the diving Urquieta into left center field. And Tuna to second. Ledesma has his second hit of the game. And there's 2 on and 1 down for John Howard, who was struck out and walked.
Up next, number 14, John Howard.
And Fort Lupton looking to score for the second straight inning. Pollitt looks back. The pitch upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan blew it open in the first inning with 7 runs. 1-0. Swung on and foul back on the slow breaking ball, and the count moves to 1-1. Big game tomorrow in Brush on 1010 and KSLR.com at 4 o'clock when the Bee Diggers will take on the Eaton Reds, ranked number 1 in 3A at 15-0. The stretch and the pitch, extremely high. Keller had to catch that one up standing. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Tuna at second, Ledesma at first. Stretched by Pollitt. And the pitch, and he threw a breaking ball that bounces over the catcher. Took a bounce several feet in front, and then it went way over Keller. Wild pitch sends Antuna to third. It is 3 balls and 1 strike. On John Howard with 1 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch. High. It's a walk. And the bases are loaded for Riley Reed, who singled in a run. Could be a confidence booster somehow if Pollitt can retire Reed here. He has really scuffled in this inning, even more so than when he allowed 3 in the 4th. Wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. And Tuna at third, Ledesma at second, Howard at first with the bases loaded in the 5th. The pitch swung on and grounded off of Pollitt. Pollitt's going to chase it down to his right, pick it up, throw home, and it's offline. And scoring is going to be Antuna. We'll give him a base hit. It was a ball off the pitcher. And it's now 20-4. Here's Andrew Segovia, who singled and struck out. So Reed now with 2 RBIs in the game. Righty against lefty. Wind and pitch. And the breaking ball is a beauty for a strike down the middle. It's 0-1. Yeah, didn't take the best hop back to Pollitt, which is why we gave Reed the base hit. Here's the wind and the 0-1. Swag and a miss through the fastball right by him. I tell you, I think that Pollitt's not throwing his fastball enough. Throwing a lot of junk. His fastball looks pretty good. He's got 3 strikeouts. 0-2 pitch. Well, that's a waste of a breaking ball up and away. Keller again standing up to catch it. It's 1-2. Pollitt has thrown exactly 48 pitches, 24 for balls, 24 for strikes. 1-2 pitch. That is a called strike 3. Nice fastball in the inside corner. And there's 2 down. Here's Isaiah Padilla, who walked and hit that fly ball single that fell in the infield before it hit the edge of the grass or rolled to the edge of the grass in the outfield. The pitch, swinging a foul behind the plate. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Padilla with the bases loaded, full of Blue Devils. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Fort Morgan leads by 16 runs. The pitch, curveball, is a strike on the inner half. It's 0-2. And Bladen has done a nice job here of coming back and reestablishing himself. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. And did he wave at that one? And the answer is no. On the changeup that he short-armed. Yeah, just go with the fastball here. You don't want to get cute of your pilot. Your fastball is working well. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The wind, the pitch. I threw another breaking ball. Man, those breaking balls, they're not even close. 2-2. He's thrown a couple of good ones, but not in this inning. In the previous innings, his breaking ball was working a little bit better. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Padilla. The pitch. Fastball is popped foul behind the screen. Off the top of the press box. Count remains at 2-2. Yeah, I really like Bladen's fastball today. And the curveball's been more missed than hit in terms of the effectiveness, not in terms of what these hitters are doing. The wind and the 2-2, and the breaking ball bounces in, skips away to Keller's left, but no advance. And he's thrown 3 balls on 3 breaking balls. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nowhere to put him with 2 down to the bottom of the 5th inning. Pala takes a deep breath. Padilla waits. Line and pitch. Ball 4. He walked him. Christian Angel will now hit as Ledesma scores. 20-5 is the score. Oh, he did go with the right pitch. He just short-armed it a little bit. Again, they got to score 6 more runs to stay alive. Breaking ball is popped up on the right side. Who's going to field this one? It will be the second baseman, Shirtliff, to put it away, and the Fort Morgan Mustangs have won the game by a score of 20-5 as Fort Lupton scores 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll wrap it up after this. It's a 2-minute break on B106 and B106.com. Mustang Post-Game Show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC there to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. Morgan Community College. The Mustangs win the game 20-5 in Fort Lupton over the Blue Devils. 20 runs on 18 hits, 1 error, and 6 men left for Fort Morgan. 5 runs on 8 hits, 6 errors, and 7 left on base for Fort Lupton. The winning pitcher going 3 innings, striking out 5, was Carlito Urquieta, and the loss went to Manny Ledesma. Time of the game, 1 hour and 48 minutes, in front of more people than were at the Orioles-White Sox game this afternoon in Baltimore. All right, the Mustangs scored 3 earned runs in the first inning. In fact, the starter, Ledesma, allowed 12 runs, but only 3 were earned as Fort Morgan got sloppy with all the errors in the first 2 innings. Joey Schneider did have an RBI single, as did Carlito Urquieta, making it 2-0. Kenny Keller with an RBI grounder made it 3-0. Then Urquieta would score on an error. Adrian Marquez took advantage with a 2-run single as Fort Morgan went up 6-0. Kyle Daniels, who had 3 hits in the game in his first 3 at-bats, then had an RBI single as it was 7-0. Trey McBride had 3 plate appearances, 2 walks, and a 2-run double as he made it 9-0 in the third. Nate Cage with a sac fly. Kyle Daniels with an RBI single capped off the 5-run second for a 12-0 lead. And then to lead off the third, Austin Cosman and Joey Schneider, the seniors, went back-to-back with home runs over the left center field fence, making it 14-0. Nate Cage, who had 4 RBIs in the game, had an RBI single. It was 15-0. Then Trevor Shirtliff capped off the 5-run third with a 2-run single. 17-0 was the score, and then Nate Cage would hit a 3-run homer in the fourth inning. That would close out the scoring for Fort Morgan as the Blue Devils put up 3 in the bottom of the fourth and 2 in the bottom of the fifth. And the Mustangs win 20-5. They're 12-0 in Colorado 7 league play and 14-3 overall. Fort Lupton falls to 0-12 in league play, 1-16 on the season. Mustangs are back in action tomorrow in Aurora at Vista Peak, 4 o'clock. We will not have that game on radio. We'll have Friday's game, the regular season finale, coming up in Fort Morgan against the same Fort Lupton Blue Devils, starting at 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. Again, you can always follow us on Facebook on our B106 page or on Twitter at B106. And, of course, when we're doing these games, just go to KSIRsports.com. You can follow it pitch by pitch. Click on the faster connections and the link to today's game. You get a big baseball field and box scores like you get in the majors. And you can follow it pitch by pitch, KSIRsports.com. Sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustang Baseball has been Braden Godin. I'm John Beltran with a final score from Fort Lupton. Fort Morgan 20, Fort Lupton 5 in 5 innings on B106 and B106.com.